Chris the Cardinal says, flap your wings. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Hey, how did that bird get into the pool? This one has that very special touch. So congrats go all around. Wave hi to Mom. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a tight show. A lot of things to bring you today.
A lot of video. We've got video of absolutely everybody, at least a little bit this week. And again, we're getting ever closer. The tennis team now through with the team tournament. We'll go on into individual tournament. Section soccer tournament starting this week. Volleyball wrapping up the regular season this week. Cross-country conference championship this week. Swimming and diving true team section tournament this weekend.
Just 2 football games left in the regular season, too. It's just amazing how quickly time goes.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
We are, always.
Yes, always.
And for the first time in more than a month, Cardinals football squad not having so much fun. They're feeling the sting of a loss after a humbling performance on their home field. Cardinals and the Chanhassen Storm are similar teams. Both are great running the ball, and both have dominant defenses. The game was fought in the trenches and came down to which offense could find a rhythm and wear down their opponent. There wasn't a lot of passing in this game. Tyler George rarely had time to look downfield, but he does on this play, and he connects with Kenny Nwachi for a 34-yard gain. One of just 3 completed passes for the Cardinals and 4 completed passes total in the game. Going forward on 4th and 7 from the 16, George wants Dominic Jones in the end zone. Just out of his reach, and the Storm take over on downs. That was the first play of the second quarter. Defense dominating the first half. Next 4 possessions were 3 and out. The Storm get rolling late in the second quarter. Jacob Miller on the keeper gets a 19-yard pickup. Carried the bulk of the load for Chanhassen, including getting the first score on the board. Great second effort to get across the goal line, and the Storm take a 7-0 lead to the locker room. Storm strike again on the opening possession of the third. Miller on 3rd and 7 slips a couple of tackles, finds a seam, races to the paint again, 25 yards for the score. It's 14-0 visitors. Cardinals defense strong next time, forcing a punt deep in the Storm end. Bad snap over the head of Grant Walsh. And a mental error by the punter keeps it in bounds. Adam Offerdahl falls in it for the touchdown. That cut the lead halfway in half midway through the third. Unfortunately, it was the only points of the night for the home team. Cardinals held to just 103 yards of total offense. Storm, meanwhile, relentless on the attack. Miller again stretching for the score, his 3rd of the game. Chanhassen adds 1 more, and they take a 28-7 victory. And Howie, that's really the key was the line play. Both offensive and defensive lines for the Cardinals are very strong, but the offensive line could not open holes to get their ground game going, and their defensive line was just out there so much. Eventually, that relentless attack and pressure from the Storm paid off.
We always talk about winning the battle at the point of attack, and that's what Chanhassen did, especially in that second half on Friday night. And really the Cardinals, they just kind of seemed out of rhythm all night long. They couldn't get their offense going, and they'd seen 4 games in a row where pretty much they could do what they wanted on offense, whether it was the week before, even though 5 completions for Tyler George, did well through the air, and they've mixed it up on the ground. They've done a nice job of pushing the ball on the ground, not against Chanhassen. So they're going to have to figure things out. They've got a big opponent coming up that can score some points.
Yeah, and this was a game, coming in, 2 teams that could easily put up 300, 350 yards rushing. So Chanhassen held well below that as well. So kudos to the defense on that. But again, the offense for Chanhassen was on the field so often, they eventually wore down the defense and put up some scores. You talk about next week, the Cardinals will face off against the Armstrong Falcons, and that is a slight mistake. The Cardinals still 1-0 in division play. They have Armstrong and Hopkins to finish the year, so their last 2 division games. The next one is big. There you see Armstrong, 140 points, 51 of them last week in a win over Bloomington Jefferson. And while the opponent a little bit lighter than the Cardinals in Jefferson, any team that can put up 50 points one week, you've got to be a little concerned when they're coming in. Hopkins on the flip side, they're now 1-5, and they have been heavily outscored, but they also beat one of the Bloomington teams for their victory.
You can score points on Armstrong, and so I'm not too concerned the fact that even though that they can score points as well, I think that defense won't get worn down like they did against Chanhassen.
Well, and I think the key, again, is being able to establish the run, being able to move the ball. We haven't seen that many 3-and-outs in a very long time because it was both teams. Both teams, we had 4 straight 3-and-out series, 2 for each teams in that second quarter. 6 punts in the first half. It was not what either team wanted to do. But the Cardinals, I think it's good to get a loss every once in a while so your head doesn't get too big, and hopefully this will get them refocused. They're going to come out really hungry.
That game's
Friday.
in the rearview mirror now. Well, the tennis team had a chance to open the section tournament at home last week, hosting Minneapolis Edison on Tuesday. As the number 9 seed, the Cardinals needed 2 wins to get to the quarterfinal round in Section 5AA. But it meant they got to start the bracket against the lowest seed in the tournament, and the Cards made sure to take care of business against the Tommies. Edison was forced to forfeit the top single spot, and the Cardinals soared through the remainder of the lineup. Grayson Nula playing to the corner, swung on and missed by her opponent. Nula wins 6-0, 6-0. Well, that was the most popular score. Maddie Westra will put up same numbers at third singles. She makes it look easy at this point. Westra playing to the backcourt for the win. In fact, the only game the Cardinals lost was a 4 singles, but Caitlin Severson still cruised to the straight set win there with a 6-1, 6-0 victory. Just up and down the lineup, the Cardinals winning almost too easily. Carly Nelson and Emma Newton hardly breaking a sweat on their way to a 6-0, 6-0 win at first doubles. Same story at second doubles. Maya Mashinsky and Megan Spielbauer teaming up for the win there. Cardinals easily on to the next round with a 7-0 sweep of Minneapolis Edison. And that was an easy one for them. We were there doing soccer. We kind of watched a little bit of that, and it wasn't a test for them.
No, it wasn't. And while it's good to get a confidence boost with a 7-0 win, when you come to section time, you want to be pushed every time. You want to win, obviously, but you want to be pushed so that you know that you're playing at the highest level. The Cardinals certainly didn't get that from their first round opponent. The next round, a bit more difficult, and the Cardinals fall to the number 8 seed, St. Michael Albertville, 5-2. The wins coming at second and third doubles. Machinsky and Spielbauer winning in 6-4, 4-6, 7-6. Same exact score in a tiebreak for Samet and Schrader at third doubles. A couple of closer matches for the Cardinals at fourth singles. Kate Severson losing 4-6, 3-6, and Newton and Nelson, after a great first set, losing 5-7, they were swept 0-6 in the second set. So what does that mean? It means that as a team, the season is over. The upcoming schedule is the section tournament for the individuals. That'll start, I believe, end of this week or the beginning of next week. And then it's just a matter of, which 2 teams, which 2 singles and which 2 doubles teams will Coach Storick decide to put forth. Typically, we've seen in years past, a lot of times he will take players who haven't played doubles all year or much doubles all year and put them together because whatever he feels and they feel gives them the best opportunity to make a run. I would expect to see Nelson and Newton as one of the teams, but we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll know. We'll let you know when we know.
Volleyball team will wrap up the regular season this week, and the Cardinals are showing improvements as they head toward tournament time. After winning a pair of matches the previous week, the Cardinals enter last week's play looking for a streak. The Rogers Royals came in at 13-3, but the Cardinals weren't intimidated. They were confident that they could play with them, and they did. Winning is fun, and confidence is the key. Cardinals have it, and they're playing with it. They don't panic on this point when their first attack is blocked. Instead, they reset. Great second touch by Paige Fosslin, firing it to the line for the point. Coon Rapids hanging right with the Royals. And they're able to pull it out at the end. Great serve received by the Cardinals. Clean pass from Allie Yang. Fosslin the set. Sophie Fracke with the finish. Coon Rapids takes the first set 25-23. May have been a bit of a wake-up call for Rogers. The Royals respond in the second. They set it up in the middle for 6'4" Kendall Kemp, and that's just plain hard to defend. Rogers dumped to a big lead early in the second, and they end it early. Kemp Not the only weapon, another 6-footer in Megan Ellingson getting the kill on the right side. Royals even the match with a 25-9 win. Once the Royals started clicking, you can see why they've been so successful. Another great turn off the serve. Ellingson another kill. Rogers takes the lead with a 25-20 win in the third. They finish it in 4. Chloe Lundberg serving up the ace on match point. Royals win 25-16, but the Cardinals got one and were close in 2 of the 3 losses. So a pretty good outing for them against a very good team.
6'4". That's
6'4".
That's pretty big force in the middle. You know, Coach Enzi,
and that's just what she's listed as. She
Right.
may have put on another inch or two.
Coach,
it was easy. Let me just say, when I was watching the highlights and I saw it, I went, whoa, who is that? And I just didn't even have to look at the number. I just looked at the roster and went,
that's
got to be the 6'4" girl.
Yeah. Coach N said this. This squad is starting to find its chemistry a little bit, playing a lot better than they have in the beginning of the season, and you can see that.
Yeah, and that's important, even in losses, to play well and play tight. Anything can happen once you get to the playoffs. The Cardinals played again on Thursday, and again they win that first set over Andover, beating the Huskies 25-20. But the Huskies come back and ended in 4, 25-16, 25-10. And 25-14. The Cardinals host Armstrong on Tuesday. Armstrong, a very good team. They're at Blaine on Thursday. Blaine a little bit down this year, right in the middle of the Northwest Suburban Pack. So that might be a good opponent to finish against.
No question. Hey, you remember when we were at Northdale Middle School pool?
I've been there.
Good times, good times. The swimming and diving team has a big week coming up with a duel at Champlin on Thursday and a true section tournament on Saturday. Last week, the Cardinals only meet a chance to go head-to-head with their poolmates from Blaine. The Bengals have an incredibly strong squad, and they had a couple of girls set records at the meet. 1 school record and 1 pool record. But they don't get to claim all the top finishes. Cardinals freshman Megan Schultz made sure of that. She won both of her individual events. Schultz ran away with the victory in the 100 butterfly, finishing the time of 1 minute and 14/10 of a second. Nice finish there. Same story in the 100 backstroke. Schultz, one of the best in the section in both events. She coasted a first place finish, tagging the time of 104.62. She is a very good swimmer. Cardinals' only other top finishes come in the 400 freestyle relay. Ella Hacker, Emma Schmidt, Tamala King, and Megan Schultz team up to put together a great time. Blaine was swimming exhibition, but the Cardinals get the legit first place finish with a time of 3:56.45, but unfortunately the Cardinals are going to lose this meet by a score of 96-75, and it really they are good. Blaine they have a lot of numbers.
Very impressive.
Very impressive swimming squad.
Yeah, a lot of really fast girls.
Really fast.
And they've got about 70 girls on the squad compared to the Cardinals' 35. But I think the Cardinals will really take something away from that meet in that 400 free. A 3:56.
Yeah.
They didn't break 4 minutes in the 400 free relay all year last year. They did it right away and meet one like a 3:59, maybe even into the 58. But here they are on almost 5 seconds below the 4 minutes. So everybody's getting faster, and Coach Donaldson very excited. And of course, the relationship with the Bengals is an interesting one because they do share the pool. They see one another a lot. Blaine, a much bigger, much stronger team at this point. But for the Cardinals, they're so young. This is kind of a look at that and see what, this is what hard work pays off. I mean, Egolf Jensen, their diver, set a pool record.
Boy, she's good. She's
was
so
a couple
impressive.
of points away from the school record. Did set the pool record in that event. But just to watch her, she's very, very good. And you watch her and you know she's going to be one of the girls who's in it at the end of the state tournament. But that is the type of thing you want to see, especially in your own pool. You get the opportunity to see that kind of thing on a daily basis. And you go, see how hard she works, see how it's paying off. That's the kind of thing the Cardinals are getting from teaming up with the Blaine Bengals. And again, a very young team with a lot of promise for the future.
No question.
Cardinals are at Champlin Park on Thursday, as you mentioned. They will host the Section 7 AA True Team Tournament on Saturday. Well, the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships are Thursday, and the Cardinals cross-country teams are flying high after a great outing last week. 18 of the 21 girls and 27 of the 28 boys had season or personal bests at the Thundering Royal Elk Invitational on Thursday. Both teams were able to finish really well and will carry some confidence into this week's championship meet. It was a great day for a race and a big field for the Cardinals to compete in. 14 teams taking part in Thursday's event at Fox Hollow. Cardinals showing strong pace from the start, pushing one another all the way to the finish line. First across for the Cardinals is going to be Sarah Eichstadt, crossing in 1 minute 17.9. Rest of her teammates not far behind. 8th grader Julie Hedlund in 43rd, 21 minutes 40.6. Ellenbecker's sisters will finish together. Junior Olivia will finish 50th in 22 minutes 7.5 seconds. Sophomore Abby is just 4 seconds and 4 spots behind her. Final Cardinal to factor into the team score is freshman Lisa Hoagland. She gets to the tape in 64th place. Cardinals finish 9th. On the boys' side, this is a team that has a shot at a conference and section title. And you can see it on the course. All along the way, they push each other, and their times are showing that it's paying off. Paul Breitbach, not a surprise to see him at the front, finishing his strong career. He had a great outing at Fox Hollow, finished the second, 16 minutes 31.4, just 4 seconds behind first place. Junior Nick Jorgensen is the next Coon Rapids runner to the line. The junior captain has a personal best, 17:24.3. Sophomore Reed Smith, right behind him the whole way, gets 20th place. Noah Christensen will have to hold off a surge behind him to get 28th place in 17 minutes 46.9. Isaac Johnson will finish middle of the pack to take 31st. Cardinals take 3rd out of 18 teams, and I think you can say with some confidence they are ready for this week's conference meet.
That's impressive. 3rd out of 18, and that's just, again, continuing to build towards that, towards your playoff time, section time, and nice finish for the boys.
Well, and again, 18 of 21 girls and 27 of 28 boys had season or personal bests.
Great. This is great.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Green at the beginning of the season. He says, yeah, we do a lot of different meets. We do a lot of different things. We're not too concerned about how they score or where they place through the majority of those meets because we're building toward the end of the year.
Yep.
And this is the time that everybody's starting to turn on the Jets. Very exciting and very excited to see how well they do on Thursday in Elk River for the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships. The section championships are on the 26th, and I believe that's at Anoka.
I think you're right. I think it's at Anoka. I think I saw that.
Well, I'm glad that you're backing me up.
I'm backing you up. It's teamwork.
It.
It's teamwork.
Appreciate it.
The soccer teams will start the section tournament on Tuesday, and both the Cardinal squads get to test themselves, get one of the state's best last week. The Maple Grove boys team had lost just one game this year, a 2-1 decision in favor of Totino Grace. The 7th-ranked Crimson kept the pressure on Coon Rapids all game long and gave the home team very few chances to even threaten the net. Maple Grove establishing presence in the Cardinal end early, getting opportunities often. Good scramble by Andrew LePage early on, kicking away the chance and close for the Crimson's Jeff Clune. Maple Grove's pressure eventually pays off. Crimson on the run and a tough bounce for Jared Haida, trying to break up the cross pass, directs it up and over LePage. Maple Grove takes the lead in the 13th minute. They add to it late in the first off the free kick near the midfield. Mark Mueller gets position, traps, turns, scores. Crimson take a 2-0 lead. Cardinals held to just one shot on goal in the first. Matt and his brother Max were twin terrors against the Cardinals midway through the second half. Matt controlling deep, feeding out front. Max slides, as you saw, directs it to the back of the net for a 3-0 lead. Crimson had one more, and Matt in the mix again. He heads the 50-50 ball over to Cameron Barber. One touches at home. Maple Grove chalks up another win, handling the Cardinals a 4-0 loss.
Yeah, that's another one that just kind of, that's what you get from facing the top teams in the state.
They were good.
You really get to see what it takes to get to that next level. Well, the Cardinals closed out the regular season on Thursday, traveling to take on the Spring Lake Park Panthers. Panthers were coming off a win over Armstrong, but it was just their 4th of the season. Cardinals needed a bounce-back game before the section, and they wouldn't let this opportunity get away. Coon Rapids getting on the board first off a throw-in deep in the Panther end. Ball bounces free. And it's teed up for Mohamed Jasinek, and he leaves no doubt a scorcher to the upper corner. Starts the scoring, 1-0 Cards. Still in the first half, Callisti getting it to Gael and Tombwe. Tombwe in traffic, has it poked free, but it's right to Alex Lynch. He settles, puts it just out of the keeper's reach. Coon Rapids goes to the locker room up by 2 at the half. They add to it in the second. Tombwe has it tipped away from him. Moise Madimba gets it right back to him. Gael will set it up, place it just inside the left post. The Panthers did score late, but the Cardinals win this one 3-1, and they get some momentum heading towards the postseason.
Well, they needed it after that loss to Maple Grove, and then get that winning taste back in your mouth before you start your section playoffs.
Well, and I think it's a benefit to win that last game. The Cardinals have had the most successful win-loss record they've had in a while, and it's showing as far as how the coaches see them. The Cardinals were given a top seed. They're the number 4 seed in the section tournament, so they get the opportunity to start the playoffs at home. They will host St. Francis on Tuesday. And Howie?
We'll be there!
Or at least I will. Duluth East, the number 1 overall seed. They will host Cambridge Isani in the first round. Anoka, the 3 seed, gets Andover, and Blaine, the 2 seed, gets Forest Lake on Tuesday night.
Well, technically, we will be there. I won't be there, unfortunately. I have a work event that I can't get out of that I have to go to. I'd rather be there, but I talked to Paco. He understands.
We'll battle on without you, and we're excited.
He'll be fine without me.
We're excited to have a very special guest joining us.
Who it is.
No, it's a surprise.
Yep. Well, the girls' soccer team also started the final week of the regular season play with a visit from a very tough Maple Grove squad. The Crimson girls brought an incredibly impressive 14-1 record and ranked 3rd in the state. They'd won 5 in a row since that one loss, and they only given up 1 goal in those 5 games, so they would be a formidable foe, to say the least. Didn't take long for Maple Grove to start the scoring. Just the 7th minute of the game, Brendan Steiner sends it across. The first shot is blocked, but right to Man and McMahon. She's got the home net to shoot at. Cardinals didn't get a lot of chances in the first half, but Genevieve Swanson nearly able to tie it right here. Off the steal, she fires it past the keeper, but it clanks off the post. We move to late in the half. Crimson Lexi Miller gets in on the breakaway. She avoids the charging keeper, Mackenzie Langenfeld, and easily directs it home to give Maple Grove a 2-goal lead to take into the halftime. More control for the Crimson in the second. Meredith Hankinson finds herself with space in the middle of the field, works it back to her right, then shoots back to her left, beating a diving Langenfeld to make it a 3-0 lead. Cardinals were more competitive in the second half, and they do avoid the shutout off the free kick by Bloomquist. David Johnston gets positioned to head it home. First goal the Crimson had allowed in almost 4 games, but the Cardinals are going to lose this one by a 3-1 score.
And the fact that they kept them relatively close it says something. And again, at 3rd place, they're 3rd place, ranked 3rd in the state. They finished the season actually by losing their season finale, but a very, very good team in Maple Grove. So, and really great to see them break the scoring, especially with how much trouble they've had on the offense.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, more even matchup for the Cardinals to finish the regular season schedule when they went to Spring Lake Park on Thursday. Cardinals and Panthers both entered the final game with just 3 wins in conference play. Both have struggled to find offense this season and have had to persevere through long losing streaks. Panthers had lost 7 straight and 9 of their previous 10. So both teams were pushing hard to try to get just one more win before playoffs. Coon Rapids on the attack early, long through ball to Caitlin Ackerman flying down the wing. She's able to avoid the defender coming in. Gets herself a good shot. The keeper, Sammy Miller, makes the save. Cardinals controlling it down the right wing this time. Peyton Taylor controlling into the corner. Sends a great cross out front. Alyssa Brazier in position, but the header is just over the net and out of play. No score into the second half. Cardinals pushing it in deep. Caitlin running onto it in traffic, able to flip it over the charging keeper. Great awareness. Gets her the goal. Gets Cardinals a 1-0 lead. But those missed chances would still come back to haunt them. Steal at midfield by Tori Beam. She sends it upfield. Sister Maddie Beam's able to tip it past the slide of Langenfeld to score into the wide open net. Evens the score at 1. Panthers able to maintain the momentum from there. Nicole Hoffmeyer playing toward the front of the net. Maya Dempsey stops it up. Fires it past Langenfeld. Panthers celebrate a 2-1 win in the regular season finale.
Unlike the boys, the girls unfortunately couldn't taste that winning feeling before they start their section play.
But it did give them a great preview of what they have ahead of them in the section tournament. Because what happened? Cardinals got the number 5 seed, and they will travel to number 4 seed Spring Lake Park to start the playoffs. They get a second chance.
They do.
Maybe this time they'll be able to turn the tides on the Panthers. It's a pretty good goaltender they've got over there. Maple Grove, number 1 seed, hosts Park Center. Champlain Park, the 3 seed, gets Irondale. Centennial, the 2 seed, gets Osseo. And I would have to say, if we did do the girls' game against Spring Lake Park, I might be a little bit torn because, after what Sammy Miller did for the girls' hockey team last year, I'm a fan.
Yeah, oh, me too. No question about it.
I don't remember if it was 8 or 9 straight shutouts, but I'll always be a fan.
No question.
And
she played strong in nets.
There's a couple of other of those hockey players that were part of the Catbird crew that are soccer players for Spring Lake Park. But,
Catbird brings back good memories.
But I will I will always side with the Cardinals and hoping both soccer teams the best in this week's tournament play. We'll obviously have Tuesday's boys quarterfinal for you here on CTN. It's not live due to Minnesota State High School League rules. We can't show playoffs live, but that will repeat at midnight. And then should the Cardinals win on Tuesday, we may follow them on Thursday. If they were to beat Spring Lake Park and pass Spring Lake Park, most likely they're going back to face Maple Grove, the number 1 seed, on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll be on the road at Armstrong, see if the Cardinals can get a bounce-back game in a big division matchup with the Falcons. That one should be very entertaining. But a lot of stuff going on this week. We'll try and keep you apprised, have as much of that action for you next week on Sportsnight. Before we go, though, I do want to mention a special event coming up this Saturday at Pineski's in Anoka. They're having the District 11 Alpine ski team swap meet. Anybody interested in skiing, they always want extra bodies. They are dying for them. Want to build that team up. It's a great way to get on the slopes like every day, and you get a great amount of time on the slopes. I think you get a pass to go when you're not with the team as well. But they're going to do that all day at Pineski's on Saturday, 9 to 4. They will also have some cross-country and some snowboard stuff for swap, but mostly it's going to be an opportunity for those Alpine skiers to try and keep their costs down by getting some lightly used equipment.
If you have the opportunity, make sure you check it out.
But now that's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN for the entire crew, including the Joker, Brandon Rickert, in the audio booth this week. And my partner, Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young. Say goodnight.